Good morning, everybody. Let's see if today's plan goes as I have it planned. Rewind to yesterday. One of my buddies sends me a Facebook ad for what they claim is an 02 5-speed extended cab long bed Dodge Cummins. It's got like 3 exterior pictures, pics inside the bed, and 1 photo of the VIN plate saying 02. In the ad, it says it's a Cummins, runs good, no ignition, and 5-speed. I'm like, dang. So I messaged the owner. And I said, I'll buy it. The reason why I said I'll buy it, because all those little bits of information I just gave you sounded so sweet. Price, let's go ahead and say it, $1,500. He said he's got 30 replies. He's trying to figure out who was first. I said, all right, I'll give you $1,600. I'll be there tomorrow morning, because I was at work at that particular moment in time. He said his last tenant left it on the property 2 years ago. He made contacts with him. Only got a hold of the last tenant's mother, and she said, get rid of it on your own. We ain't going to touch it. So we're going to go down there right now and snag it up, and these are the tools I brought. I got a battery. I got a brand new ignition, 3/4, so I can bleed the injection lines. How to install the new ignition. Might need a trailer. Definitely gonna get a trailer. Go back up to the trailer, grab the jump pack, and we're getting out of here. Well, it's almost 4-wheel drive territory. Good thing I just put them new tires on it. Nope, it's 4-wheel drive. Slipping tire. Back in the day, Grandpa just running all over these hills, huh? Out that way? Yeah. Went up. Oh, jeez.
So when Johnny Craig moved down here, he lived right up there. Yeah, I think so. He told him a green mobile home that was old before he bought it. Up there.
I don't know, I'm hoping. I can kind of see the lake down there.
My barn burned down. Barn.
Not saying that this is like a Shelby find or nothing, but black 5-speed 02 truck. Nobody would ever found it out here. Nobody. This is, yeah.
78. I recognize your voice now too.
Do ya?
Yeah, watch that thing.
Falling apart.
Whittingslow. I kept thinking Wilsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I thought that burned down, but maybe not.
No.
You got it finished?
Yeah.
'Cause you had it about half down. And,
Oh,
Oh, fuck, he's a pile. That's still badass though.
look, let me show you where I found it.
Oh yeah, look at that. Man, you couldn't get me to drive that thing up on these hills, to be honest with you. Hey, hi buddy. 66 crew cab Dodge on top of one of these.
I'm told they get like 1,500 horsepower out of these things.
Not with stock internals, but yeah, not for a long time anyway. Oh, I forgot. I gotta go grab the ignition so we can see what's going on here. Oh, look at that. They were nice enough to leave the screws in there for us. What a gentleman. I don't know how they got that crap in there with that.
But I don't think this guy had it long enough to.
Small world, I need to elaborate. The gentleman we're getting this truck from happens to be somebody that knew my grandpa back in the day. And basically, this gentleman knew my dad when he was my age. He's 78 years old now, so we knew who he was when we were headed down there because his Facebook profile says, and my last name's not actually on my Facebook. So we knew in advance where we were headed, loosely, hadn't been there in years, and it took this gentleman a little bit before he recognized my dad. So it was pretty cool that they had a little reunion.
I stuck that screwdriver in to unlock the steering
Yeah.
wheel.
Yeah, the new ignition's got a deal.
Yeah.
If the guy never took drugs, this thing wouldn't be here. Yeah, the drugs would ruin the world.
Oh, yeah, that guy was out of it. His lights would be on all night long, and I'm going, what the hell? Who is living in my house?
Oh, he was a renter.
Well, it got sublet. The girl that I was renting to, she's still renting it. But she went to Europe and kind of sublet it to him. Yeah.
You're okay with it.
Well, I don't know. It's been 2 years. I don't know how it happened. Well, I didn't know he was meth addict.
Have you looked in the house?
Oh no, it's happened since then. It's squared away. Yeah, I repainted the whole thing. I've got a really beautiful bathroom right now, reminding me of when I was young. Maybe tell you a story once. You know, I came up there.
Said it was parked because the guy that owned this truck lost the key. I don't know how it got up on this hillside now. Where's Emma? Where's Emma? Oh. Why they detached that. We'll hook that back up though. That's for the steering wheel controls.
It completely disappeared in the mud. So pulling that out, stuck it back out, pulled me all the way back.
No way. Guess how many miles are on this thing? 155.
Less than mine.
It's a ranch truck to say the least though. It's got grass inside the.
What's that top coat stuff? It's all gone.
Yeah. Oh, that's surprising. I'll
take my screw.
Before we begin to try to start this truck, we are simply excited how low of miles it has on it. And the gentleman led on to saying it might have been parked for longer than 3 years right here. So naturally, I want to make sure the lift pump is still working to get good fuel pressure to the VP44. And I crawled up underneath the hood and started. I was going to crack the line to see if the lift pump was actually doing anything. But the lift pump, you could hear it prime up and then shut off. So I told Haas to hit the key. And the starter via the key wasn't doing nothing. So I just simply walked around the other side and there was a weird doorbell switch. And somebody's jerry-rigged this. So we haven't done anything other than try to figure out how to crank this engine.
It had a mechanic in there, but he wasn't mechanically.
It was screwed in.
Yeah.
He wasn't mechanically inclined enough to do
Tap
that.
or turn the ignition on. Make sure she's in neutral.
Did these have going places? Oh my God!
Can we try again?
Yeah. We got oil pressure? Fuck a duck. No cat. PhD.
Damn thing. Well, you know know more about it than I do.
Yeah, it's all right. It'll get home. Put her in 4-low. It's 4-wheel drive, right? Just run it. Okay. Hold your brake.
Is that snag when we pull the part coming up the hill?
Get that water down. Yeah, look at that. I think it's nostalgia just using the 96 to go pick these rigs up. Because, oh man, I picked up my first project rig when I was 20 with this truck after I did the 5-speed. Might have been still, yeah, I think I was 19, 20-ish, somewhere in there. So 13 years ago. It's funny that truck's still doing it. But it's also cool to note that it's very rare for me. This is the first one, honestly, that I've ever snagged on Marketplace that was a deal like this. And I never say the prices, but this was just, I think it just adds to the story and makes it more enjoyable for you guys to hear and for me not to have to beat around the bush. But he said he had actual other people that offered a little bit more, but for some odd reason, he's like, yours stood out. And he's like, it feels nice knowing that this truck's going to somewhere that's going to be appreciated. And we'll get back to the house and go over the truck in detail a little bit more. I'm on a time crunch today. I got to be back at the house and watch the littles. Taylor's got an agenda to keep of her own Saturday. And it was even cooler that my dad was able to go down there with me and reconnect with somebody new, basically in a former life. The gentleman who got the truck from was one of my grandfather's old hunting buddies. We didn't know if he was going to be, just old timer, or he's very functional older gentleman, that's for sure. 02 5-speed truck, Dana 80 disc. Finding a disc brake 2nd gen factory, man, we'll go back to the house and look it over. We got a couple more minutes. I always hyped up how well the 96 used to tow, and I never really made a video on how well this thing does. As far as the 29-year-old truck, it's got some tasteful modifications on the power end of things, but I got behind me $5,500 pound trailer and a 7,000 pound truck, so 13, 14-ish. It's a pretty decent little load. And I'm in 4th gear, which is direct. Just chooching up this hill, 45 mile an hour, 2,000 RPM. Truck does pretty good. I think you got to stay above like 1800, get above that torque whine in the transmission. There's a fun hill. We're at 30 psi, 5th gear, 50 mile an hour. For the risk of popping a boost tube, I don't really want to give her too much. We're losing speed. It's pretty steep right here, but it's going to pull in 5th. We'll go ahead and drop her all right there. Plus this corner stop sign. If you guys know Donner Summit, you pull, I don't know if it'd pull this all the way over the top and high, but it'd be close. That's not bad out of a 29-year-old truck. That'll work. Look at this. No check engine lights, oil pressure through the roof, quarter tank of fuel, and we got a vacuum leak though, because I think we don't know if the AC's blowing cold. 155. This is the lowest mile second gen I've got by a lot. 80,000 to be exact. Couldn't see her spinning. It went under the truck. I found this vacuum leak by myself. Chris didn't do. Okay, Chris found the vacuum leak. It was a difficult one. I wasn't even looking. Okay, I looked a little bit. So much crap just came out of those vents. See low on the pressure. One more down. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of wind in that tire. We started it probably half a dozen times when I was on the trailer just now. I don't know if you guys, despite the fact this is a rough truck cosmetically, just the low mile-esque of finding an 02 manual transmission truck, it's hard to find. Definitely, if you're willing to spend some money, you can get one. But as for somebody like me, or I got a buddy Britt that has already showed interest in it, he just happened to text me this morning. He restores swept lines like my crew cab. But to find a good engine 24 valve truck, if you found one with an automatic in it, you're basically just buying like the engine, you know. But I would say at least doubles the value if it's got a 5-speed behind it. Now this one, I made an offer sight unseen. He accepted it, and we just absolutely lucky. This thing's got low miles, no blow by, solid running engine. I can't even, honestly, let me put a little wind in this rig and get this old Makita fired up. I was hoping these tires were going to be halfway decent, but let me get some wind in this thing and we'll talk. I guess it's going to do it for itself. Parking brake is functional. That's a compression. That's why it. It's in 4 low. Get on with it. You imagine a crew cab, second gen, the biggest thing missed from Dodge by a long shot was a crew cab second gen. You imagine how epic that would be if those were on the production line. Not the 600 of them that were custom built that have, unfortunately, the add-on section rotted out. But that truck, blacked out, crew cab second gen. Oh, it'd be so freaking cool. From factory. Because tractor engine, no emissions, biggest mark missed ever. Fire and hold. Oh, parking brake was working. Oh yeah, working pretty good. This thing could have drove itself home. Stop jumping, Spider. Good morning, Spider. Now this golden hour, let's look at your Royal Highness of a super specimen of an automobile. Probably wondering why I'm so fired up about this truck. Honestly, for all the good things of multiple generations finally coming to a head 20 plus years ago, this is the truck right here. For a year and a half, they made an honest truck with a lot of good options. They were factory equipment, and they're really hard to find, especially when they're in this nice shape with low miles. Okay, the low miles seems to be accurate, and I got to thinking about it since we picked this up yesterday, that people might be concerned that maybe the gauge cluster was swapped out. I'm willing to believe that the guy that used to run this truck up in the hills probably didn't have an idea how to change a tire, much less anything else, because he lost the key and parked the truck and left it abandoned. And if I hadn't mentioned already, the owner's mom said to just get rid of the truck. Like, they just wanted to cut ties with it. He couldn't even figure out you could just buy a new ignition. Not gonna give that trade secret away, but I was doing some investigating, seeing if there's anything underneath the dash. And Sherlock Holmes technique, I decided that this dust and debris that's underneath here is the same amount of junk that somehow wiggles in through that little button and fills up the gauge cluster. It's the same stuff. It's got to be. This thing is untampered. It's still got somewhat decent of a dash. No, it's got a lot of cracks, but it's all still holding its form of a dash. So you could theoretically set your hat up there. Not your sunglasses though, because it'll implode if that came to it. But let's go over something to drink down, because we got to go over the list of things that this truck checks the boxes for. When they went to a second gen, they actually got a respectable cab that had some construction, except for the dash fell apart. But we got a solid frame as far as the non-boxed ones, but we're still lacking. It ran for a while. Balls. Got a partial box tube on this frame, so the front structure of it is way better than it used to be for first gen, but it still had vacuum assisted brakes earlier on. It had drum rear, but the later end of the second gens finally went to hydro boost, so you had some actual brakes. So that meant your 0 to 60 time was actually faster than your 60 to 0 time, you know, because these things were complete dogs from the factory. Then finally, they put disc brakes in the back for the last year and a half that the second gen Dodge was produced. And for a while now, I always thought that the 6 speeds in these was 265 horsepower, but I was corrected by my buddy Bob. He said 245 was the max power you got out of a stock second gen from factory. This is 235, same as my dad's 01 and everything. So I was a little bit bummed, but then I thought the difference between a 2002 and a 2003 when they went to a common rail, that must have been something to bear witness to that. You know, 235, 245, all the way up to 305, 325, somewhere in there. Come on. We're looking at it underneath the hood. Everything is intact. Factory equipment is all still chilling here. It looks like the original VP. There's still markings from the factory when they, you know, did their inspections of tightening all the hardware, little things like that. Little guys right here. This thing's still, the clip's not broken. Just little things, except for somebody's ran a doorbell switch for the starter. Don't know what's up with that, because this wire is supposed to go down to the starter, and there's the plug-in trigger for it right there. And I don't know. We'll investigate that at a later date, to say the least. But it fired up. Absolutely perfect. And then I closed the hood. And I tied it down so it wouldn't blow open. Just makes you really wonder what the hell happened to this truck to go down this road. Also, it's black. How often do you see a black second gen? That seems pretty common now. So let's look at the bed because I thought it rattled, fell apart, but I actually saw a truck with the same dent on it, and I'm thinking the gooseneck might have got involved right here and just pulled this side over. Could be fixed, but when there's second gen 1500s out there, you just swap that and just call it a day. This side, not much better. But straight up honest truth, the cheapest second gen, the cheapest Cummins I've ever got off of Marketplace. Buddy deals and just people willing to hook up the channel have been a little bit cheaper on occasion than this. But this is the first time I actually share a price on one of these with you guys. And well, this price tag makes sense, but I'll tell you what, for somebody that was going to use this for a donor, it's worth like 6 times that ish, because the whole interior cab, everything would be junked. The only thing would be the drivetrain, which 5-speed manual. Actually, the clutch feels strong, nice. I haven't crawled underneath to see if that has any, rounded over bolt heads or any of that mess. But whiskey or hard drugs might have been involved. We could fix this door. What do you think? Donkey kick from the inside?
Maybe.
Yeah. What else would you have to say about this, or should I add to this just absolute stallion of an automobile?
Ugh, that glory hour shot right there.
Glory hour?
Glory hour. Golden hour.
Glory hour.
Golden hour.
Not yet. Kids are still out. Gosh. Camera's rolling, folks.
What was you were willing to? You told me about willing to put money on doing something with this.
What?
On driving this, you thought you could drive this home.
Yeah, that's a good. One of these days, I'm gonna find a truck that I have the time to tinker with on site and drive home. And had I had the time yesterday morning, I might have been halfway willing to drive this bad boy home. Just have to go up some sketchy backwoods hills in a country that I haven't been on in a long time. It's really not that far from here, just over the hill, the next hill, past a lake, over the river, and highway, and that's it. But I had a flat tire, and we were crunched on time. But one of these days, I'm going to do one of those authentics, where you can fire up the truck and just drive it home. A lot of people are doing that now, and I honestly don't know if people realize how extreme that really is. Even if it's a rig that you know through and through, like, that'd be a lot. But I'm going to give you guys a fair warning that sometimes deals like this come with extra baggage, as in back fees and stuff like that, so that could be a test to the price. And for the condition that this body's in, the bed would be scrapped, the front clip, the hood is smoked, the cab, minus that one door ding, is savable. See, there's a big old crunch right here, so that it's not worth your time trying to fix that. But ultimately, I have several second-gen donors that are just rolling chassis, engine, drivetrain, and stuff still on them. But this right here would check so many boxes for a donor, and it's just beat up enough to do that with it. But it's also barely good enough to save. It's pretty rough. It is pretty rough. How would you compare this truck to Grandma's truck when we got hers back?
I feel like this one has more dents in it than Grandma's did.
Yeah.
But
You gotta think though, Grandma's engine was smoked. Trans was good. Still running around town in some old boy service truck right now.
true.
Which happened to be the trans out of my 96 from back in 2010. But this one's running, driving, everything.
Yeah, I would say probably mechanically this one was better than Grandma's truck.
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't know, we'll see. I'll have my cop buddy run some numbers and see what this title says, because we don't know how the baggage is hidden. Maybe we get saved. more than likely be donor. But we're gonna leave that to folks that are gonna determine that decision later on down the road. But comment below what you think we should do with this truck. What would you do with it? Now, obviously, you can't say that that was a bad price because we know the engine's worth more than that. We know that rear end's worth more than that. The list goes on. But we're gonna end it. Look at these little ones. Put fingers over here. Hey! Better get away from that edge. See you guys on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye. The bonus content for the real viewers that stick through. I don't know what we just went through, but the stuff. And then this is the after credits. We were just sitting here looking at the truck and thinking of, is it worth saving? Is it not? Because my whole heart was just as a donor, because man, I got enough second gens, but I would like to put more back on the road, but I'd also like to put more swept lines back on the road. So I was like, you know what, the cab's pretty good. Got a little rust spot there, and tailgates are, you can swap those out easy. So if you're hauling anything longer than 8 feet long, like boards or something, first of all, get a trailer. Second of all, if you don't have a trailer, drop the tailgate. Or if not, put it on top of the tailgate. Don't put it on the cab. So that made this truck, honestly, I could fix that. Just got a taco crease right across the whole back of it. Couple hours, I could fix that. Okay, maybe that's not quite valid. But let's see if there's anything else that's gonna make me not wanna fix this truck up. This door could be fixed. We don't care about the front clip or the bed. There's no rust. It's a dent. This truck's actually in really good shape compared to some of these shit boxes I've worked on. Damn it. Okay, we're gonna end it there. Comment your ideas. Curious, read your comments. See you guys on the next one. Later.